were one of the founding members of Doula UK. And
Yes, I am. That they don't mention it is their problem. What is happening now surprised me. And actually, you did, not the others. You did. The fact that I wrote and only through, was it through you, Shirley, or through somebody else?
It was Nicola from Red Tent Doulas passed us your email.
That's right. So there you are. It's only through her, and it really is a shame that nobody came out with any announcement, any something. It's a shame. I mean, people who are dealing with birth, yeah, well, I think it's horrible. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. The Israeli propaganda is extremely successful. Extremely successful. It's just, yeah, that's all I can say about it.
Any contact with the Doula UK in the last 20 months? Have you had
No, nothing, just you. Just you. I also wrote to La Lesh League.
Nothing. No.
Why not? Hey, but I mean, if people don't want, you will tell them it rains, and they say, no, it doesn't. I look at it now, I don't understand how we accepted it. You asked me how I came to it, and this is something that's really worth answering, because it is not an easy step to take. I want you to understand it. It is important that people in the world know that there is a minority of Israeli Jews who are anti-Zionist. It's important to know, because soon they'll put us in prison if we are in Israel, you see. So yes, it's worth knowing what's going on. I just want to tell you that both my families, the total families on both sides, father and mother, are victims of the Holocaust.
Oh, wow.
We have none left.
Yes.
A distant cousin here, maybe, and perhaps another one there. People were trying to find each other after the war, and eventually somebody did find us. First of all, in Europe, it's very easy to play on the guilt. So now this guilt is now, it moved to the Palestinians now. They are the evil forces. Yeah, it's unbelievable how history is repeating itself in such an ironic way.
Yeah, I agree.
Such an irony.
Okay.
No, I don't know how the change in the Israeli society will happen, and if at all, because the trend is towards messianic Zionism. But Zionism is a colonial project, and to accept it, and to accept that there is no nice colonialism, there can't be a nice colonialism. I was brought up in the left-wing Zionist movement that brought me up to think that we will have nice Zionism. We will cooperate, and every time there was some kind of conflict, they all jumped to the
right.
It's not just to the right. They jump to unity, to some kind of false unity. Right. And I am part of the privileged Ashkenazi Jewish community. And we were brought up with enormous love of the whole community. It's difficult to explain how we were brought up. They were so proud of us. We are the first generation born there. They gave us a nickname that says we are so sweet inside but prickly outside because, you know, they were all Jewish from Europe who came with manners, and we didn't have any, saying like, thank you and please and all that, you know. They were brought up definitely, you know, in good bourgeois, middle class culture. And suddenly we are very wild and run bare feet in the sand and wearing shorts and swimming in the sea. Yeah, you know. And I can't explain how much love was poured into us. And, you know, love, even that it, under the circumstances now, I look back and think, for God's sake, couldn't they see it, what they were doing? You know, looking back, it's just incredible. My parents, I mean, how couldn't they? They didn't. They just didn't. They didn't see it. And so they were so proud of us. And it gives you some kind of confidence and love, and maybe you're grateful for that, because it was nice to have this love. Do you know that one of my memories is being thrown in the air by a total stranger? I was a tiny little thing with blue eyes, as you can see, and I was blonde. And I was a pretty little thing. Why not? We are all beautiful until we are 12. My daughter says, all beautiful. After adolescent, it starts to change. I was probably 5. Somebody threw me in the air and said, we have to send you to Hitler to show you how beautiful and wonderful you are. Can you imagine such an imprint on me as a child? And that's not unique. You know, everybody will tell you something else about their experience of this love. This is very strong in me. We had such confidence that I recognize this confidence a mile away. You know, when I hear Hebrew, I don't have to see first the accent, and then I just turn my head and I can see. It's this kind of confidence that we have that is extremely difficult to put the finger on. No, it was a gradual, but there was a moment in it that closed it for me, if you see what I mean. Yeah? For this, I have to explain to you something, that because I want you to understand not only my generation, we're dying, but the next one that was still brought up very much before the end of the Second World War. So I was born in 1936. My parents emigrated from Poland to Palestine. They actually met there in Palestine. They arrived as young socialist Zionists. They belonged to a youth movement in Poland, each in their own place, because and they were indoctrinated. They lost their faith, the religious faith, at some point, both of them. They went, my mother went to a Catholic school, and my father went to a secular, up to a point, a Jewish secondary school. They met in Palestine, and my sister was born on a kibbutz, because they don't know it. They did not acknowledge at the time that it was a crime. What they were doing was a crime against humanity, because they were waiting in a sort of a center, which was before a piece of land was handed to them after they cleared it up from the indigenous from the Palestinian Arabs who lived there and who worked the land there. And they established a kibbutz. And my parents were founder members of a kibbutz. We were all there and brought up devout Zionists. But because I had this background that it was left-wing Zionism that believed a little bit, later on I realized that it was all a lie, but it grew up on me very gradual. The slogan of our youth movement is for Zionism, for socialism, and unity of nations. It's you can't have these three things, It's contradictory. Socialism is not only for Jews. Socialism is for everybody who is there. Unity of nations can only happen, by some kind of understanding. You saw the time goes by, there is the war of the 48 war. I grew up on the myth that, we were attacked by all the Arabs around us. And it's all very, very gradual. Suddenly, some of my friends tell me about Palestinians. I lived in Tel-Aviv, not far from Jaffa. I was in the army part of it in Jaffa, but by that time I started to have doubts about the whole thing, but I couldn't put the finger on it. Found it was a eureka with an extreme pain, extreme pain. The 6 days war was terrible. You see? And I want to tell you and share with you what was this moment of eureka. And because I thought about it, I have translated it into Hebrew, and you will have to bear with me for a moment. On May 24th, I was called up for duty in the reserve section of Jerusalem Brigade. As we were waiting to be kitted up, we were handed a duplicated sheet. On its verso side was printed, yes, you guessed. It was Naomi Shemer's song, Jerusalem the Golden. Do you know anything about this song? Jerusalem the Golden by Naomi Shemer. Look for the words in translation into Hebrew. It says here that Jerusalem, Golden Jerusalem, it's empty of people. Empty of people. It's a beautiful city. In the middle of it, there is a wall. Yeah, this is. We've come to warn the nearby enemy that he should not dare to move. We have come to remind him that if he starts hostilities, and they are already in the West Bank, they have conquered, he's dreaming that he's already in the West Bank. It's before the war. He already knows what is going to happen. If he starts hostilities, his own territory will be the battlefield. This time, we have come to remind the enemy that if we will eat, the Wailing Wall, Mount Scopus, and even Jericho are ours. Defenders of Jerusalem. I'm proud, etc. That doesn't matter. I'm just waiting for you to do your best that this all can happen. And when it's ended, after the whole group of reservists that my husband was part of read the song and this battle page, all the religious people in his group, and suddenly he realized that there were many more than he even knew, started to dance and to sing this patriotic, horrible song, Am Israel Chai, Am Israel Chai, the nation of Israel is, and David, King of Israel, you know, the terrible patriotic battle songs, really. So my husband comes home for a break, and we are sitting in the kitchen in our flat in Jerusalem. It's something I'll never forget in my life. And my husband says, Ilana, look what they gave us. And I read that, and I said, Moshé, that's not what we were brought up. That's not how I understood it. I thought it was all defense. We are defending ourselves. And what's that? But all the time in me, it's this page, this battle page is in me. And in 6 days, the war is over. And suddenly I see that that's exactly what is happening. This was published and we became, non-persona. We started to get lots of phone calls threatening us that they will kill us. Our children started to tell us that we are traitors. The children told them in the kindergarten for our youngest, Daniel, in the school for our daughter, Tal. And it started to be very difficult to move, because Jerusalem is small and everybody knows me. And Ilana, how can you think like that? And what happened to you, wonderful people? I mean, what do you think?
So that's when you came to the UK.
It's very painful. My husband is an academic. He's a mathematician. He was invited to teach in the university here as a mathematician. And we said, we are going. And we are going. We are taking it. We're going for 2 years until they give back the territories. And as you see, we're still here. Can you believe that this is what we believed?